Hello, I'm Priscilla Archangel, and my leadership insight for you today is the power of and. So first, breaking news. On June 6th, the PGA Tour and the Saudi-backed Live Golf announced an agreement to merge. Now, for anyone whose head may have been buried in a sand trap, this was a stunning announcement of an alliance between a decades-old organizer of golf in the US and North America and the year-old startup that paid hundreds of millions of dollars to woo some big-name golfers to defect from the PGA. The two organizations spent the better part of a year in an acrimonious legal battle that included Saudi Arabia's sovereign wealth fund, former PGA golfers, antitrust allegations, and more. And the startling agreement, quote, effectively makes the Saudis investors in U.S. golf, unquote, so says the Wall Street Journal. There are still many questions on how this will operate between sponsors and TV rights and the need to backtrack the many negative accusations traded between the two organizations and the intense anger of the PGA golfers who turned down live offers. But they went from forcing pro golfers and stakeholders to see this as an either or proposition to an and situation where they would unite. And while the behind the scenes conversations leading up to this big announcement are just now trickling out, they decided it would be more financially productive working together than fighting with each other. Now, this story mirrors other parts of life. I attended the Mackinac Policy Conference last week, organized by the Detroit, Michigan Regional Chamber, where the theme was the power of and. And the focus was to bring otherwise polarized sides together closer to provide the needed stimulus for leaders to bring nuanced thinking to problem solving. Polarized thinking has a multiplier effect. It ripples through our businesses, it sets us up for conflict, and that depletes resources and wastes time and money. Conflict itself is born from a perspective that we must make either or decisions, that we can't have more than one option, and that two different things can't coexist. People come into discussions and negotiations holding tightly to their point of view and often their ego. They focus on getting what they believe they want and need and figuring out how to win and get more. And in these situations, the result is generally less favorable than if the parties explored and solutions. These and solutions also require significant changes in areas that people resist most, such as power and authority, financial rewards, autonomy, and decision making. Focusing on and requires a commitment to exploring mutually beneficial results and not necessarily the same results. Consider some of the following behaviors. Decide to value others even if you don't always agree with them. Respect goes a long way toward finding middle ground. Be willing to explore possibilities. Discuss options longer and in greater detail than you ever expected to. Think creatively. Lethargic thinking focuses on what we know. Energized thinking focuses on finding something new. Ask questions and listen. Often we assume we know where another person is coming from or the basis for their point of view. We'll learn much more if we inquire and dig deep. Exercise patience to find the right solution. Sometimes starting the conversation, then pausing for a day, a week, or a month will bring new insights that will lead to new solutions. Be civil. Words can hurt and separate us emotionally, or they can bind us together. Take the best characteristics of multiple options and look for ways to combine them. Step across your aisle and sit next to the other person. See the situation from their perspective. Move from being right to getting it right. That's how you view yourself versus others. The power of and requires an optimistic view of the possibilities and different approaches to viewing it. So during negotiations, it may be necessary to replace the current negotiators with people who are not stuck in the either or statements of the past. During policy discussions, it may help to invite each party to advocate the opposite party's position. During problem solving, it may help to bring in people unfamiliar with the issue to ask fresh questions. And during conflict resolution, it may help to identify a common and critical goal, then explore ways to reach it. So, where can you apply and thinking in your life and work? Thanks for listening.